Okay, so inequality topics. So, when you're doing inequalities, you have to isolate y. Right? Our calculator only does something called y equals, so you need the y all by itself. So we got to do some algebra.
Can you make it brighter, or just have to brighten it?
I can try, yeah. Is that a little better? Yeah, there.
Oh yeah, much better.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the y unit. So 2y. I'm going to keep the y unit. I'm going to, the 10 is fine. Do you understand that I'm going to minus 6x over? And then I would take that divided by 2. So I need you to put this into your calculator. So that's what you would put into your calculator now, because you have a y alone. That's the purpose of your calculator feature. But you do need a bracket on that. So to me, I would hit trace 0, and then it gave me that, 5. And then you can trace something else. I don't know, trace 1. So then 1, 2. Which kind of line do you want to draw? You have, we should write that on our cheat sheet. What kind of line is this? Solid. And this one would be a dashed. So that should be on your cheat sheet if you needed a reminder about that. Cheat sheet tidbit. What did I just say here? A solid, because we're equal to. And which side of that line will indicate the greater than direction? This side of it. Angling upward. Okay, did you notice how I just shaded everything? Because it told me anything, real, any real number. So I'm going to also put this on my cheat sheet. Any real number, shade all. And then any integer number, I need to put some dots, right? Okay, can we just put this example straight onto our cheat sheet? Are you guys okay? I want this example. Let's just put it right on our cheat sheet as an example. Okay, so here's my cheat sheet. So here's what I'm going to say on my cheat sheet. isolate the y. That's what I'm going to tell myself to do. So this example is exactly how I'm writing it on my cheat sheet. So negative 2y stays. Okay, so I'm writing myself some notes here. I stayed with the y. I moved the thing, something that needed to move. Then I'm going to tell myself to get y alone, I have to divide by negative 2. And I'm going to put a star here, and I'm going to write divide by negative does something. Flips sign. That's why I thought maybe we should just write this one in case we run into that situation. We flip the sign. Okay, there you go. It's ready for your calculator now. So I did a trace. So I got a coordinate 0, negative 7. I don't know. We'll go negative 5 was good. It gave me a negative 5, negative 2. And then we're going to do a dashed one through this one. Do we see why? We do not have an equal to 0 portion. And we did a flip on the sign. So now we're looking at a less than sign. Less than direction is on this side. And this time I need to do a integer graph. So any integer, so I'm going to put a couple dots so we know. Please don't spend an hour filling this in, but enough to show you which side I'm on and enough to show you that I'm picking just the points on that side, not the anything. Okay, are we okay if I skip a question? We'll just do one more. Is that okay with you? Okay, let's do these two. So here, what's the strategy? I don't have something which is y, so I got to get it alone. So it looks like that would move. So that's ready to go. Dashed. Okay, now y at negative 2. I'm going to write this on my cheat sheet. So some info on my cheat sheet. I'm going to tell myself a y equals number is a flat line, a horizontal line. And if I ever have an x equals line, it will be vertical. And do you want to graph it? Or can you physically graph it? Or do you want your calculator to graph it? That's what we did if we wanted it to go into our calculator. Remember that? We did a bunch of 999s because it's an infinite line. It goes up and down infinitely. So I'm going to write that on my cheat sheet so I remember which one is flat and which one goes up and down. So this one is a flat line at -2, so I'm not even going to use my calculator. I'm just going to draw a flat line at -2. And it says, oh, we didn't even do our direction on the first line yet. Less than the angled line, less than the first one. How many 9s was your max? Did you ever remember? 15 you can do? That was more than I thought. I thought it was like 9 9s or something. So if you wanted an x value of -5, do you understand you'd have to actually put an x plus 5 in the brackets? Does that make sense? Anytime you ever see a subtract sign in a formula, it means to do the opposite of what you have. Okay, less than the angled line would angle that way. Greater than that line. Okay, so that's that. I was very baffled on the test with this question. Everybody apparently wanted to do it in a really hard way. Okay? I had everybody trying to get this alone. I don't know if you were graphing it or what. All you need to do is plug in. That was all it was supposed to be. You're supposed to plug it in. So, is a point a solution? So I'm going to replace y with 11 is greater than. What is the negative of -3? Positive 3. Is 11 greater than 11? No. This is what I was looking for on your test. Okay, do the same there. So 3 times plug in x is this -7 less than or equal to -4? Does that work? Yes. Plugging in 0, 0, what would this all come to be? 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 14? No. Okay? If I did give you a visual, right? Like this, if I asked you, is the coordinate 4, 3 a solution? 4, 3 is not a solution, right? Okay? Okay, so I asked a student to say, is this a solution? And they did what they were supposed to, where they took it and plugged it in, and then they got that, and then they said, yes, it is a solution. But it's not. So why is it not, even though they did all the work, the math right? Why? Because it says that your variables have to be integers, and it's not. Okay, not an integer. What do you think? Is the coordinate 2, -3 a solution? Yes, it's in the shaded. Is the coordinate 1, 1 a solution, which would fall right on this line right here? It's on that line right there. No, because it's on a dashed. Is the coordinate 1, 4 a solution? No. Okay, so I did put one variable like this word problem on your exam. Okay, we are planting apple trees and strawberry trees. So are you okay if I pick A and an S? Those are my two things I'm worried about. First of all, what do you know about apple trees and strawberry plants as a restriction? Can't have negative apple trees. Could you have 2.5 apple trees? So they have to be, oh, yep, acres. I was looking at apple trees. Can't use any more acres altogether. Strawberry acres, apple acres. So yep, so we're switching that to just being greater than 0 or equal to 0. Because you can have 1.5 acres. Okay, so that's my variables, that's my restrictions. You can't use any more than 20 acres altogether. What are you going to write? Can't have any more than 20 acres together. Can't have any more than 20 acres together. Okay. You want at least 3 times as many acres as for strawberries as for apples. What's my hint on those reading? Put the 3 on the other one. So put the 3 on the A. So strawberries, 3A. You want 3 times as many strawberries, so plug in a number. So if your apples are 10 acres, how many strawberry acres do you want? 30. So what's the math? If you want 30, this would have to be 3 times 10 to make 30 strawberry. No, but I'm just giving like a random example. Obviously, and then at least then. Because you have more strawberries, right? You want 3 times as many strawberries. Did it make sense if I put a number in? So when you think about 10 apple acres, what do your strawberries have to get to? At least 30. So look at my math. My strawberries are going to be 3 times 10, right? Okay, we are going to graph this situation. Which variable would you pick to be your y? Strawberries, because then this one's already set up to be a y equals 3x type. And apples. Okay, so this is my calculator. Y equals 3x, I will type into my calculator. And then this one would be y equals 20 minus x, right? Those would be my calculator maneuvers. And I'm going to put my window up to 30 on both because I knew that this is 20 already. So I'm going to make both windows to 30, x and y. Okay, lots of you graphed like this. You have that and you have that. 20 subtract, or did you do a baby x? 20 subtract x. 3x. Okay, let's look at our windows. You ready to go to our window screen? Do we match? Okay. Okay, lots of you actually graphed this very well on your test, but you forgot to shade me the zone. So, this is my diagonal. I'm supposed to be less than it. So I'm supposed to be this. And 3x is this one. I'm supposed to be greater than that one. So I'm in this triangle. So you will want that intersection point to make that triangle. So get me an intersection with your calculator. Huh? 5 comma 15? No, not 15.
Oh, and then I have 15.
I have everybody's calculators. What's that?
I don't know.
15.
Yeah, but what's that?
What? I think that's just the axis, isn't it?
Yeah, we're sure that weird little mark at the bottom. It's just like the graph behind
It's
it.
just, yeah, it's just the axis underneath it. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. So, to get the revenue, we're going to look here. We have the produce. Every strawberry acre will make 23 tons, and then every ton will give me this much money. So I'm going to times those. So strawberries, $97,750 for each acre of strawberries. I'm going to do the same with the apples. Each acre will produce this much, and each ton will produce this much money. So my revenue will be $97,750 per strawberry plus $27,000 per apple. I'm going to plug in the coordinate. Well, 0, 0 is out, right? We're not going to even bother that point. So we'll plug in this coordinate and then this coordinate. So 0 apples and 20 strawberries. And then the next time we'll plug in 5 and 15. Okay? So how much money does that generate? How much money does that generate? You know that you can push second enter, right? To save yourself time. Okay, this one's going to get paused. Think about what you want on your cheat sheet.
How are you scrubbing so hard?
Okay, so cheat sheet, I would write myself restrictions. You would either say something like this or whole numbers. Oh, I'm frozen. So this is something I might put on my cheat sheet. Restrictions, you're usually saying your variables are either above or equal to 0, because they can't be negative, or they might have to be whole numbers, like the number of dogs has to be a whole number. I would write this on my cheat sheet. I would write that whole line. They want at least 3 times as many strawberries as apples. I mean, I wouldn't write all the words. I wouldn't write acres and all that. But I would write, they want at least 3 times as many strawberries as apples. And then I would write my inequality beside it so I remembered how to write it. I do say, what is the objective function? And you might be like, well, what does objective function mean? So this is the definition of my objective function. Like, what is the object? We're trying to figure out the revenue. So do I figure out the revenue? Okay? So when I say, what is my objective function, because I asked that specific question, that's what I'm looking for. Okay? Okay, do you feel like you are good with that stuff? You have what you want on your cheat sheet? A few reminders for yourself. Okay, rates, proportions, we did this test. Oh, this was a long time ago. One store sells sandwich meat. There's the price. The other, there's the price. Which store is cheaper? So it doesn't tell me what to do, so I can pick. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to put everything into pounds, or do you want to put everything into kilograms? It doesn't matter.
Pounds.
We're going to move to pounds. So I'm going to go 3 kilograms equals blank pounds. And then I'm going to write, remember with proportions, you have to have them lined up on top of each other. Kilograms have to be on the same side as kilograms. You always use the method of times across, divide by lonely. So 6.6 pounds. Okay, I want you to make sense of things. So what makes, hold on.